Everyone's racing to build with AI, but here's what I've learned. If people don't understand it, they don't trust it. And if they don't trust it, it doesn't matter how powerful AI is. They're simply not going to use it. My name is Zaire Wade, and most people also call me the AI translator. My mission is simple. It's to help people go from AI confusion to AI clarity. In this short session, part of GatherVerse, I want to share a quick three-step human first blueprint for adopting AI. Yes, it's a framework shaped by my own experiences, navigating the chaos of technology while building an online community predicating off of helping others adopt AI. The first lesson I learned was you must listen before you build. AI adoption doesn't start with data or dashboards. Ironically enough, it starts with people. When I first began exploring AI tools and automation, I used to just jump straight into the coding, straight into the prompts and the pipelines without first understanding what people actually need. And that was the mistake that taught me everything. When I first built this AI execution community helping others adopt AI, I started by asking a simple question. What's holding you back from using AI right now? The answers were eye opening. Some said fear, and then you had a few that said, yeah, I know about ChatGPT, but that's about it. And that's when I realized that we must actually understand people problems and have conversations to create real solutions that really help them rather than just forcing technology and expect it for someone to use it. So think about it the next time that you talk to your team, or the next time you talk to a client of yours. What would they say to the question of, why aren't you using AI right now? The second lesson that I learned was to simply talk about AI in plain language. People cannot adopt what they don't understand. Inside our community sessions, I used to say things like neural networks and model inference. And yes, with my data science background, I used to say LLMs and machine learning models, talk about statistics and breaking AI down from a technical perspective. But until I start breaking down AI by just saying AI is like an intern, it's like somebody that's capable and eager to do things, but needs a little direction. People start replacing the AI fear with actual AI imagination. They went from what is AI to, here's how AI can actually help me. So ask yourself, how often do those conversations happen? When you actually talk to somebody about AI, they don't get confused. They don't get intimidated. They actually understand the language that you're speaking in when referring to the technology. And lastly, the third thing I had to learn was you have to build AI solutions with them, not just for them. Whether it's your community, or whether it's for a client, or whether it's just, quite honestly, for your personal use. You have to actually begin building solutions with community. When I started in the know and helping others adopt AI, we started as a community. We tested tools out and looked at workflows and said, does this really help me? Does this really save stress and time that AI is promising others that it will do? And members suggested new formats and provided feedback in which AI adoption seemed more so of a group project rather than just a solo experiment. That experience taught me something powerful. It taught me that when people are part of the process, they take ownership of the outcome. Co creation turns skeptics into believers. Who's helping you design your AI future? Is it people or is it just tech? So before I close, I ask you to do this. Build AI by building understanding. Listen to your people and speak their language. Build with them and also please do not just build for them. And because when we put humans first, AI doesn't just work, it works for everyone. And if you take one action after this summit, let it be this: start your AI conversation with a question, not just a pitch. It's because when we begin to be human first and AI forward, we set a standard. We set a standard on how we build the future. And with that, the AI future is bright. And then we will realize together we can make something that people can believe in and not just a tool that people can use. Thank you again, and my name is Zaire Wade, the AI translator. Thank you for joining this year's GatherVerse.
Hello, my name is Thomas R. Wilson. My pronouns are he, him, his. I am the owner of R&H Creative Advocacy and Storytelling, and I am so excited to be able to share a bit of a message with you today. And I really wanted to focus in on sustainability in technology as a means of utilizing empathy. And what I mean by that really is just a focus on the idea that when we utilize technology, when we start thinking about the future in addition and what technology is for humanity, it is very important that we consider two very important topics, I should say. One of them is sustainability. The other is empathy. We as human beings, and I know this is true and it might be a little hard to hear, we're not always good at perspective. We may get hyper-focused on where we are now, how we can make things better now, but it's also really important to highlight, especially in a world that is constantly growing to adapt empathy and sustainability, that our future is largely shaped by our actions now. And that is especially true with technology, whether it is AI or it is as simple as a TV, or really just how we utilize technology as a tool when interacting with one another. And this world is hard enough, right? Like, technology is regularly used in order to belittle and to hold people back, but that's where this idea of sustainability really comes in. In my mind and in my work, I highlight the fact that all people have to have access to the same level of technology. And that's an incredibly easy thing to say. That is, it's so much harder to implement that than to say it. But one of the big things that people often forget is there's a lot of people in this world who, whether they live with mental health needs, or they're stuck at home, or really just accessing the community is hard for them. Technology can be a portal and a connection to the rest of humanity. And I want to emphasize a really important fact here, which is technology is a tool. And when one group of people have more access to a tool than another, there is a degree of inequality there. And I'm sure everybody here really wants technology to be utilized and to emphasize the future of humanity. But part of that is making sure that we as human beings and as a species are making sure that in one way or another we are helping all people connect to technology. We are helping them understand how to utilize it, how to emphasize it, but we are also teaching and emphasizing for ourselves and for younger generations and future generations the importance of empathy-based focus on these tools. I know there are so many people in the world. Some of us may be hearing this now and might feel a little alone or disconnected, but Technology is a tool, and it's up to humanity to use our tools properly and in a loving way. And so, one of the biggest things that I want to emphasize is please remember to teach, to educate, to empower the idea that how we build our future of technology is rooted in empathy. If we start emphasizing and really pushing the idea that empathy is manifested in different ways through technology, we can also push towards steps of a future where that inequality that I mentioned can be bridged, I should say, in a more mindful manner. We can help younger generations understand the power of empathy through technology, and hopefully with things like AI and the future of technology that I can't even imagine at this point, we can really put a very human and loving emphasis on technology.
I want to thank everyone for giving their best today. A pre-record, a talk, a fireside, a roundtable, mic issues, camera issues. We live in an imperfect world. Our systems will be imperfect. Our products will be imperfect. We are imperfect. But in giving your best, we do ask for your excellence in whichever manifestation and however you could produce that, in whichever way you can give. We accept it. We accept it all. Come as you are. That's been the thematic and persistent theme for GatherVerse for some time. I want to say thank you to the team at GatherVerse for helping make this happen and the people that work so hard behind the scenes. Some you see, some you do not, but our heart is with you, and we're so thankful for the time that you dedicate and commit to having GatherVerse be what it is. And so importantly, we want to say thank you to each of you that are watching from I don't know where. We have multiple streams happening right now. I kid you not. From various speakers that have connected to their communities, I'm speaking to a sea of strangers and friends. But I want to say thank you all alike. GatherVerse is not about Christopher Lafayette. It's about you. It's about this global community. It's about all of us finding a better way to be able to make each day as well as we can. This is serious. I have never seen such a time in life where people do not care as much as I see now. And at the self-same time, I have never really seen such a time in technology where people do care. Must we wait for some cataclysmic situation to happen before we care? Must we wait to find ourselves in the trenches of despair before we care with empathy for others? People have become even more cold and calcitrant, lack of feeling, that helping their common man and common woman to be able to find just a better way to move forward and traverse this thing called life. And Chris, I thought this was about products and innovation and technology. That's only a part of it. I have known many pioneers, if you will, that chase legacies, but pioneers, if you will, that have created great things. I know many people of immense wealth, many, yet completely unsatisfied with their inventions and what it is that they've contributed to humanity. Wealth does not deliver health, and wealth does not deliver happiness. Wealth can make a lot of things different, but my goodness, how you make it and what you do with that wealth will tell more of the story. I've seen the other side of that. I know that well. What is good to have all the wealth around you when all the world is burning? What is good to be able to continue to sell these products that are unreliable, untrustworthy, and they're making our children sick? What is the good in that? I ask you from your heart. I beg you to consider that. What is the good of continuing to promote products that we ourselves haven't even vetted, and we know we haven't, yet we continue to put it out there, and we continue to offer that up, and some of us continue to sell it under the name of being a so-called AI expert, an expert of chaos, an expert of confusion, an expert of these machines that you don't even know, and I don't even know like that, but we're experts of this. Are you an expert? Or are you a champion for truth, for commitment, for reliability, for someone that can say, I know something about this machine. Here's the good, but let me tell you the bad. You put the warnings in the smallest of words, in the smallest of typography that we can't see. We could barely notice. Make that typography bigger, just a little more, so the warning can go out to those that can't see clearly. If we're going to talk about artificial intelligence, then talk about the whole narrative, end to end, on what this means. This is serious. You will not be able to say that there weren't people that came together, that gathered from around the world, that did not warn the people, did not put real solution to what could happen. I am much more interested in the people that build the platforms than the platforms themselves. I am much more interested in seeing people funded and things that they can contribute that's good for today and wholesome for today, rather than wait for the prospect of the so-called naivete and the delusion of grandeur when it comes to these false realities of what we believe that true artificial intelligence takeoff will bring. I see these AI pioneers and technology experts that don't even agree with one another, brilliant technologists. I see them. And they don't even agree with another. What does that mean? I don't place my faith in the hands of them. But I do have a hope, many. And part of that hope is with the GatherVerse community, that collectively, that we just don't talk our way into the next innovation, but we express and we find ways to deploy. And that's what we're working at with GatherVerse right now. We hear you, we see you, and there's more that we want to do. If you have a heart to be able to go into this forest and chop wood with us, come. Let's have a conversation. Let's see what that looks like together. For all of our other events that we have coming up, whether we're focused on the Money Summit, you don't want to miss that. Men's Health Summit, coming off the heels of a tremendous Women's Health Summit. I thought I knew something about women's health. I study and have been in health tech for years. It shows that I have a lot to learn. Men's health, I'm a man, and I get this profound sense that there's more that I need to learn. And there's more that I do not understand, and that's which I will. We have our food summit coming up. One of the most essential needs of all the things, of nourishment for food. We'll have a conversation on that. Our book summit. We're thankful for our sponsors for our book summit. We have that coming up. All the AI slop that's out there. The internet is stacked and filled. LinkedIn and all these other platforms stacked and filled with AI slop. I want to hear from you. I don't even care if you think what you have to say is not as meaningful of what a machine can render out. I'm not saying don't use a machine to help you with the format and the structure of what you have to say. But my goodness, let your sentiments reign. I want to feel what you have to say. I want to hear what you have to say. Could you imagine coming to GatherVerse and everything that we heard were only machines? What world would that be? Give me your words. Give me your truth. Or you could continue to feed us the machine. And some of us will never know the difference. But at the same time, we will never know who you are. And lastly, I'll say this. This concludes GatherVerse Tech for Humanity Summit Day 2, North America, series. Next week, Europe, South America. Are you ready? We're also vastly preparing for our GatherVerse media, which we haven't officially put out there publicly, but we have quietly put out there, and we are working tremendously hard in the backgrounds. A shout out to the Superhero Engine. That's coming up. We're expecting over 200 women speakers. We have so many people applying for SHE that we may have to go into a second week. Why is this? I believe our women leaders of the world have much to say and share for our 4th annual. We have our annual summit coming up for our AI summit. We have GatherVerse 2026, our 5th annual summit, our flagship, and more, much more. When we started GatherVerse, the Ukraine and Russian war was the very next day at the conclusion of our very first GatherVerse summit. And this war still continues. My goodness gracious. I remember working with people in Ukraine, how innovative they were, how much they contributed to the global ecosystem of technology, but they've had to take keyboards for weapons. And I believe that we are all susceptible to such. And I certainly hope that this does not become the global reality. My heart is with them. A rare prayer for peace for Palestine and Israel. Settle your affairs. Make things better. I'm apolitical on GatherVerse, but some things just remain true to be said. This is a volatile yet very pretty world we live in. I'm not under that delusion to think that it's not, and we don't ignore such things here at GatherVerse. I want to say thank you for each of you for taking the time. I hope you really do go tell a stranger, and I really hope you do go tell a friend, and I really do hope that you consider adding trust to the ingredient of the incredible technology that you're building. I love technology, and I want to see more of it, and I want to hear more about it, but I like it even so much more when it has a side of humanity and a touch of compassion, a touch of care and consideration. If we don't build humanely, and if we don't tell the story, then I believe that no one else will. We either do this together, or we cannot do this at all, because nobody can do it alone. Today, our gather was well. And when we begin,
she sewed my new blue jeans. My father was a gambling man down in New Orleans. Now the only thing a gambler needs is a suitcase and a trunk. And the only time he's satisfied is when he's on a drug. children not to do what I have done. Spend your lives in sin and misery in the house of the rising sun. Well, I got one foot on the platform, the other foot on the trail. Going back to New Orleans to wear that ball and chain. Well, there is a house in New Orleans they call the Rising Sun, and it's been the ruin of many a poor boy. And God, I know